Alright guys, so this is our first chapter project for statistics. So I typically will not do a test after every chapter. I will do a test basically every 3 chapters. It's kind of a cumulative test. A big rationale behind that is there's a lot of statistics which you can really show me that you know what's going on by actually going out and running a test yourself. With the whole current situation, it's really hard for us to go out and gather data in person. It's just something that's not a real safe thing for us to be doing right now. So for a lot of these projects, I normally would have you go out and physically gather the data, but right now I'm going to have you guys actually just kind of write out a plan of what you would do and then kind of answer some questions as far as that goes. That's a little bit better than a test in my kind of history as far as stats go, because you can still show me that you know what to do versus me just trying to ask you questions of like, hey, how would you give a survey? How would you give a survey? What are pitfalls? It's just not really good testing stuff. And it's a lot more fun to kind of write to do your own surveys as well. So I know this is a little bit of a different type because we can't actually go out and do it, but we're going to make the best out of what we can. So here is what I got for us. So what you want to do is kind of effectively plan a survey you would actually give out. Now, since we're not actually doing this, you can be very free in like what your population is. Like your population could be, I would go and survey all of the current royal family of like England. You could do that, right? You could make your plan on how you would do this. You're not going to actually do it for obvious reasons, but I mean, you can really go anywhere you want and do anything you want as far as what you're going to be planning to do here. So choose the population you want, and then what kind of survey questions you would be asking them. These are going to be surveys, so they should be observational study questions, not experiments, and that's going to be kind of more next chapter, hint, hint. But then at least 3 questions, you can do more. But you want to have at least one of them be qualitative and at least one of them be quantitative. And they should be things that can be fairly easily responded to. You don't want to say, hey, tell me the story of your favorite time at the beach or something like that. You don't want to give them a long answer. They want to say, hey, maybe one or a short sentence as the response is what you're kind of looking for here. And then you actually want to plan your survey. So in 1.3, we went over the kind of 7 steps of kind of planning out a survey. You want to actually do that out. Steps 1 through 5 at least. 5 is actually gather the data. Don't actually go and gather it, but say, hey, here's what I would do, which is kind of most of what the rest of the plan is. So kind of use that as a guideline for what should I talk about I'm doing in my little kind of plan for my survey. So actually, your main project here is give me that plan. Hey, here's who I'm going to survey. Here's how I'm going to survey them. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's some pitfalls that I might need to be aware of, things like that. Again, this feels kind of basic, but it's very, very important in stats that we gather data correctly, because if we gather data incorrectly, any results or conclusions we get from that data is worthless because we didn't gather it in the right way. Once you've written out your plan, you've done it, you got it, it's good, then is when I want you to answer these 4 questions here. So the first one, for each of them, determine, hey, is the variable quantitative or qualitative? That's pretty easy. And then for part B, what level of measurement is each of the variables? So that's the kind of ratio, interval, ordinal, stuff like that. And C, is your data a population parameter or a sample statistic? That should be pretty easy. And then lastly on D, I want you to list and explain any possible pitfalls that might skew data or cause things to be that may need to be differently in the future, or things that might go wrong just based off of how you were going to be doing it. So it's kind of, I know you're not going to actually have that from actually doing it, but kind of make predictions of what might go wrong from you doing it, whatever that might look like. So you're going to have a few days to work on this. I will give you the exact date in class, at least next time that I see you, but you will have a decent amount of time to work on this. But this is our kind of plan for the next day or so. All right, so with that, I will talk to you guys next time.